Alright, so we're back in the park. This might look familiar from our picking a campsite video. I'm going to show you how to build a shelter with a tarp. So I'll show you some things I've got here. I've got some paracord, and I've got just your plain blue tarp. Plain blue tarp or any other color really, they are a real good piece of equipment to have in your camping gear. So you can build shelters with them, protect yourself from rain. If you don't have a tent, you can make a tent out of it, and that's kind of what I'm going to show you today. Alright, so I'm going to be using some trees. So I'm going to be using this tree here on the left and this one here. They're a little bit smaller tree. I have a bunch of trees around me that are taller. So I picked this spot because safety wise, it's not the tallest tree. So if there was a storm to roll in, there's taller trees around us that would attract the lightning instead of these short ones. But when I build this shelter, you're going to notice that I'm not going to be right underneath the tree. I'm actually going to be between the two. So I'm going to hang my camera up here, and you guys can watch as I make this shelter. Okay? Well, the first thing I have to do is get my rope and tie it around one of the trees. The knots that I'm going to use are the same knots that we worked on this past week. So the first knot I'm going to use is my bow line. My bow line is going to be able to have my rope attached to the tree on one end, and then on the other end I'll use my adjustable grip hitch so I can tighten my line. Alright, so I'll show you that. Need to find, you notice this is not very sturdy right here, so I'm not going to tie to that one. So I'm just going to go around this entire tree. But I do want it to be somewhat tall, about shoulder width or shoulder height, because it's going to be supporting my tarp, which is what I'm going to be sleeping under for shelter. Alright. So I'm making my bow line. It should look familiar to you guys. There's a bow line. Remember, the bow line makes a loop in the end of the rope. I just happen to have a tree going through my loop, and it's not going to slip on me even when I pull on it. So I'm going to row to the next tree. Adjustable grip hitch on this end. So I'm just going to wrap my rope around the tree. Tie an adjustable grip hitch. Now when we do longer pieces of rope, kind of it's a pain, so we gotta spool it up so we can actually work with it instead of trying to pull the whole thing through. But adjustable grip hitch, same knot that we worked on last week. Wrap it around 3 times. And on that 3rd time, bring it all the way across both of them and up through one of the ones that we wrapped around. Come up through here. I can tighten everything up. It's going to be kind of loose at first, but take a little bit of time, get it tightened up so that it'll work for us. So now that it's tightened, I can then slide it forward or back to tighten my rope going all the way across. So if you look over now, you can see the rope's pretty loose, but if I slide the knot down my rope, it's going to start tightening it. I'm going to try to get it as tight as possible, so that way whenever I put my tarp on it, it doesn't start drooping. Alright, pull this as tight as we can. Good. Got a pretty taut line now. Okay, now we have our rope set up. This is actually what's called a ridge line. So we have a ridge line set up. Ridge on the mountain. So our tarp's going to go over the top. Okay. Now there's a couple different ways to build a shelter with the tarp and a ridge line. The first one I'm going to show you is just pretty basic. We're just going to throw the tarp over the top and then stake it down. If you don't have actual tent stakes, you just get a stick, break the stick, and then stick that down into the ground. The tarp has eyelets in it. These eyelets are what we're going to put the stick through to stick it and keep it from blowing away from us. Set up over the top of the ridge line. In the corners, I just used a stick through the eyelets to hold the tarp from blowing away. Now there are some extras. If I was actually going to sleep in this, I would take the time to do those. Notice, we can go into our tent. If it started raining, just to protect us overnight for a quick camping trip.